It was going to be a quirky grab, but they do still go for Karthus, and Imba's going to be keeping that on as well. So the jungle Karthus may stick. Kevin, see what we get for top here, and Nith as well on the next picks. That Shyvana, great for Daedreon. I have not really seen him in the jungle too much, but obviously those jungles that do not require mana definitely help the mid lane. So there's already a little bit of an upper hand there, and we'll have to see if the switch actually helps for Shen in the jungle as well, because they'll have the same scenario with that.
Yeah, and of course, Shyvana is such a very, very quick jungler. Yeah. So I'm not too sure how that one's going to play out. If it's indeed Karthus in the jungle, I'm not too sure whether it will be. Maybe a switch across. Wow, okay. Well, we could have Shen in the jungle as well. Akali being picked up here. We've not seen Akali in a tournament for a while and can be beastly. I believe last time we saw it was probably Voyboy at Kiev. And wow, that was a big score he got there. Sona being picked up. So that's the bottom lane sorted. We have no idea who's going to be mid in jungle or top.
What a great mid Akali would be against Morgana, if you really think about it. Especially just coming in early game, you're going to be able to throw down Shroud, stay within your minions, get out some Qs, get that burst damage down, and really just walk within your minions. Yeah, you'll take a little Tormented Soil, lose some MR. What are you going to take, an auto attack when you run out of Shroud?
Yeah.
That would be an awesome mid right there, and we'll have to see how they choose to do it. However, Akali, still pretty good at last sitting at the tower, but it's not going to be as easy because she's going to have to get to all of her minions. You can only really Q one with that mark first. So mid lane is definitely, not definitely, but is going to go in favor of Ocelot just by creep score, unless they can come out with a lot of power from the jungle with Akali on Morgana in the beginning and shut her down.
Okay, so the last final pick, it will be the top lane. And SK are clearly having a big think about this because they're not too sure what's going on here as well. Okay, they're playing it safe, and they've gone with Lee Sin. Now, will that be Lee Sin up top, or will it be in the jungle? It will be Shyvana top lane. Okay, Shen jungle. So we're going to have a bit of the switcheroo, as it were, because Kevin needs to be on there. No, it is going to be Lee Sin up the top lane. However, it's going to be Karthus and Akali. So top lane,
they're super switching on SK.
I don't know who the top lane is going to be. Shen is definitely going to be the jungle. Kevin is going to be the top lane. Yeah, they're just chopping it around all over the place. Maybe we're going to be like CLG we had yesterday. They did the change last second. Yeah, last second. It's like, you don't know who we're playing. Bang. There we go. We switched it.
And during the interview, I was like, Hotshot, was that planned? And he said, no. And the camera turned off, and he said, yes.
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 Yeah, totally was.
So it's like, oh, that's great. So now you know.
Yeah. We're not letting no secrets go in this event. So EHOME versus SK. Wow. What's your money on?
Right now, to compare the two teams, good CC coming out of the right side. You have Ocelot Dark binding the Ash Arrow, one of the best initiations in the game, but there's a lot of slow, there's a lot of stickiness, and a lot of stick to you on this. We have Akali can jump to you, Shen just to be able to shield somebody, Corki, Valkyrie, and there's a lot of speed on that team, so we'll have to see how they produce in a team fight as well, jumping into this game.
Yeah, I mean, personally, you got to say SK are going to be the favourites.
Of course,
they are the big
make it out
team
of group
coming into this one. But EHOME, I think, have a pretty interesting pick there. They've gone with double AP though, which can work very well, or it can fail very hard.
Yeah, if you can't burst the correct person, or you're forced to burst somebody else, that kind of just leaves two people at half health.
Yeah.
And your cooldowns, where are they at? Exactly. So yeah, we do see a lot of movement on that EHOME team, just all over the place. They also have Sona and Karthus as well, throwing down walls to help them and assist and complement that speed. Going on to SK, Lee Sin, a lot of movement there. Shyvana, a lot of movement. Also Tailwind from Janna is going to be very helpful, and if Morgana can just shut them down after an Ash Arrow with the ulti, it'll be very good. As we jump into here, EHOME versus SK here at IEM World Championship, going underway in just a few seconds.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So let's just give you a quick roster rundown in case you missed it. For EHOME, it is going to be Max on Karthus. We believe will be in the middle. Could well be at the top, though. You never know. Imba will be in the jungle on Shen. So Shen allowed for the 4th time in this tournament. He's won every single game he's been in. So we'll see how that one works out for Imba. Air, meanwhile, on Sona down the bottom with Corki on, which will be TS. And PDD will be Akali. For SK, it will be Daedreon, the new jungler for SK Gaming. In the jungle way will be on Lee Sin, so it wasn't a last-minute switch or anything there. They'd kept with Lee Sin. SK on a little bit of an invade here as well. I'm going to keep my eye on them. Candy Panda will be down the bottom on Ash. Alongside it will be Nif on Janna. At the top lane it will be Kevin on Shyvana, and Ocelot will be in the middle on Morgana. Now you can see there's nothing crazy gone out with those early builds, other than I'm seeing a ruby crystal on Shen.
This is going to be awesome down bottom. Now they're actually going to go into the cove where they the golems spawn. I thought they were actually going to stop because here they come, and this is going to want the golems. EHOME sees them, and SK gets a little antsy, gives himself away in the jungle when staying in that bush. Could have scored them that double kill right off the bat. So SK milling about, didn't see what they wanted right away. They do, however, have a ward down on red, so they are not leaving the jungle without a little bit of an advantage here. And with that invade, we do see that EHOME wants to go to that top part of the jungle.
Yeah, and EHOME going to take away the large Wraith. I'm guessing it's one they've gone straight in for. Yes, they will. Getting help with the Max. Actually, I think it was Max that maybe stole it away there. Taking a little too many of the Wraiths. In fact, they've cleared out the entire camp. I'm not too sure if that was the entire goal, but you've got to get those lay wastes. They're too strong. To kind of catching a cheeky lay waste on Mr. Dre in there as he walks past as well. So let's have a look how these lanes are going to shape up. Right, it will be Akali at the top versus Shyvana, which means it's going to be Karthus in the middle versus Morgana. So how do you think this one's going to lay up straight away? Akali versus Shyvana.
Akali versus Shyvana, I think Akali can do a lot of damage here. Burnout's gonna hurt her, but she can just go ahead, lay down Shroud. At level 2, there's a lot more attack damage that the PDD is gonna be doing to Kevin. Kevin has to get close for that twin bite, and the Burnout's gonna tick a little bit, but that mark of the assassin is going to hurt quite a bit every time she's able to get it. But here we go, the red on Drayon, and he's gonna look for something early here as he starts to head top. PDD, no smarter. He does not have a ward yet. They're gonna come out on this one. The flash could be used. He goes for the E first. The Q is not landed. Big damage coming out, and he gets himself under the turret. That's going to be 2 ramped up shots, and that's actually going to hurt him quite a bit. He's only going to be able to do a little bit more in the jungle, actually backing right off the bat. So that's going to be a little bit of a waste on his red. PDD forced to use a pop, though.
Yeah, meanwhile, down the bottom, you can see there was also a little bit of damage on towards Nif there, getting caught out by Corky. So, I tell you what, he's gone back at the top. I'm just going to keep my eye on the hit points of those two. Don't worry. Corky actually diving straight on the Nif there. Nif actually with the ignite. The power cord hits him, but he will get away. I think a heal was used up there. Yes, it was. They're just about hanging on. So Ash having to use the heal up to save his support. That's kind of like the reverse there. We're watching Imber actually obviously got the ward down there, so they know that he's on that red buff at the moment. Let's keep to see if there's going to be movement. Yes, there is. You can see Ocelot and Drayon already moving towards it. They're going to be very cautious. You can see, yeah, the mid is going to have warned them. Karthus has warned them to back away, and that will be shown by that ward. Just placement just there, which is going to be great stuff. So Drayon already going to try and invade on that jungle.
Yeah, that's a really great job in general. Denying him XP, denying that red buff right away. Shen can really utilize that to wait on his taunt, to use the taunt at the last second if he can get that blade down on his Q and really use that red. But now he's not going to be able to. Just a great job, even if they were to stop him from doing it at that point, but they were able to grab it as well.
So to Drayon just waiting to see if anyone actually wants to attack him. He's got up for that, and looks like he's ready for a fight if he needs it. They've actually just got a glimpse of him, but they realise he's quite low on hit points, so it looks like the jungler is going to go for him. So he's on the Wraiths at the moment. You can see Ocelot also making his way across. Can he catch him with a Dark Binding through the fence? I think he might do. No, he's active flash through. Dark Binding will catch on and will have the pull. Will he have the ignite down? I don't think it's going to quite be enough damage, so Shen will be able to eat that one up, and he was just going to have to back away, but that's going to cause problems for that jungler. He's going to have a little bit of a time out and go straight back to base.
That was a great job by Ocelot and both Drayon. He waited to flash, and I figured, as you said, Ocelot was going to throw it right into Wraith Camp, but he waited for the flash, then got the Dark Binding just outside. Tormented Soil, however, wasn't able to do the damage he needed. But a great play by both players and the mechanics.
And the counter jungle now on completely. Drayon realizing obviously Shen had gone back to base. It's like, well, in that case, I'm taking your wolves. I'm going to take the big wolf, and I'm just going to go off. Because, of course, the big wolf, the big Wraith, that's the ones that offer the money. That's what they're already after. And you can see he's going to head his way back north, see if he can have a go towards Akali. So SK really seem to be on their ball at the moment. They played the perfect game, they said last time. That's their exact words, quote for quote. They said the perfect game. I'm not too sure what Drayon's going to go for this one. Whoa. They realize he's actually backing off.
That would be a very scary gank. Level 5 versus a 4 and a 3. Akali can burst down very well and catch you off guard. So good choice there to head back in, get a little more creep score. Drayon only at 9 right now as 17 on Shen, Imba in the jungle. And it looks like lanes are returning. The CS really in no one's favor right now. They're doing a great job of keeping it at 30s. Both teams about 38 is the max right now for your ADs on the bottom. Shyvana having a little bit of free farm top is going to assist her, but Akali was a level up, so she did have time to get back. And as that lane is being pushed, not really losing too much experience if she can get there.
And Akali works her way back, has got the amplifying tome to go with those boots. And they armor as well, so cleverly playing it against the lane partner. So realizing he needs a little bit of armor against Shyvana. Shyvana, as soon as they pan away, dives on him, which is just typical. So blue buff now being picked up. You can see Drayan starting that one out. Ocelot will go across and pick that up. I guess Shen's probably going to do the same thing in a moment for Max. Max is doing a pretty good job in the middle, though, farming away quite happily on Karthus. We're going to see whether he gets anywhere near that famed Skara 300 CS in 20 minutes.
Yeah. Ocelot now with blue middle. And it looks like he's going to, as I said before, just throw down that soil, defile going down for Max. He wants to kind of hold those minions before they get to the turret. And looks like they need to place a ward bottom, or there's no ward bottom. They kind of figured out what the time was when it would be gone. So we may see Shen. Yes, he is directing himself towards the Wraith, and then maybe a gank bottom. But really great wards right now coming out of SK.
Yeah, so you can see Candy Panda keeping that lane pushed. He doesn't want to force it back towards the tower. He's quite happy to keep it on there, just last hitting. That's all you need to do. Just get the last hit, pick up the gold. Candy Panda's doing a fantastic job of that. So double Thorns blades for both Corki and Ash down the bottom lane. Keep my eye on where exactly the Karthus is going. Karthus and Shen going to walk about there, but he's going straight past the ward, so they know exactly what's up. Shen's just going to place a ward in that area. Yep, he's going to push forward. He's trying to catch them out for that blue buff, but they've already picked it up and gone long gone in their distance. So we'll keep our eye. You can see Akali actually pushing that top lane pretty heavily there. Gone back to buy there as Kevin. What has Kevin come back with? A Dawn's Blade and a longsword actually. So going for a bit more aggressive approach on Shyvana.
Yeah, he's going to try to get that Wriggles out, but not too much. He went for the damage. He does have that armor to help himself out. We do see that Lee Sin is in the jungle. Daedron may get pinched here for a second. 2 behind and 1 in front. And it looks like they are going to make it out of that, but they're going to spin around, pull a U-turn here. Looks like they could try to get the Dark Binding, but there's a Lizard in the way. They will not be able to maximize that. Oh no, jumping in here. Looks like it's going to be a 3v3 situation. The Morgana ulti coming off, shutting down Max, and he will be able to cast for another 5, 6, 7 seconds as he is dead. And it looks like the ulti will not do that much damage. It's a 2v2, head on fire right now. PDD gets jumped on, and it looks like Lee Sin will be able to take him out. It is Imba forced to get out of that fight. He does not have taunt up. If you miss that skill with Shen, the energy will have to come back, and you will not be able to get back into your fight and help your team right away. So a very good play there as Daedron jumped over the wall and got back to PDD. It kind of separated them from Lee Sin. Or, sorry.
And as is the case, is always the case, when that Karthus ulti goes off, the bottom lane takes full advantage of that, and you can see Candy Panda went back with little to no health there. Meanwhile, you can see Shyvana is pushing that top lane. A little bit of a focused targeting, not quite right there. She could see Shen was attacking one, Akali was on the other. If they'd have maybe focused it, they could would have got a kill out of it. Instead, Akali just went down really without a fight there. And you can see that Nif doing his best he can to try and defend that turret. That turret down half health there. We've just seen that Kevin has taken that top turret, so very well played. And that has just all worked out from that initial blue buff attack. I didn't see actually who picked up the blue buff in that fight.
Ocelot going again to ward. Again, back into the jungle. They timed the red. Karthus throws down the wall and says, we can still see you. But look at that. Daedron still forcing the aggression onto the red. They're pulling it around. Imba, not knowing that they're there, but gets quite close to it. And he does see him up top. Because of that ward, they turn a flash from Max. So that is going to be down. And it looks like they are pushing back into the jungle with 3. Candy Panda there. They may drop this right off to him and donate that. Imba sees the arrow from Candy Panda and is like, no, maybe there's too many. They actually have a ward in that bush, so they can see fully what's going on. Again, back to the red, and it looks like they will actually be able to get Candy Panda to have that. Ocelot with Dark Binding onto Max. A very nice shield as Daedron gets himself into the fight. He tries to get damage down with the file, but he's just not doing too much as Shen's taunt has lasted. And it is worn off. A very nice jump out by Lee Sin. Daedron trying to keep himself alive. Corki trying to get the few last missiles on. He gets out of it with about 30 HP. Blue buff still on Drayan. And a very nice job by Nif with the shield. However, the taunt coming in from Imba. Able to take one out finally in that fight and grab a little bit of an upper hand here. 11,000 gold in favor of EHOME right now, but 2K advantage in favor of SK as they've been able to creep score, grab those objectives, and win a few more of these fights. 3-2 right now at 10 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. A very nice crescendo onto Kevin. Will they be able to grab this blue buff from him? And no, he uses burnout to get himself out of there. A little bit of movement speed and a lot of aggression here in the 10 to 11 minute mark of the game.
Yeah, a lot of aggression indeed, and a true support play there from Nif there, just blocking off Lee Sin, making sure that Corki ultis didn't hit any of them. Obviously paid for it with his life as well, which is the real way the support goes. So Hextech Revolver now being brought up by Carly. So EHOME's starting to pull it together and actually looking pretty good and pretty handy in a team fight there. So lots of Doran's blades across the SK team, you can see there. Along with the Wriggles as well. Sorry, slowly being built up. Actually, I wonder if they're going to go for a triple Wriggles here. There's a total possibility. You can see actually going down towards the Dragon, though. Dreyan has pulled it out. Nif's with him. Has been back and bought an Oracle now. Nif so feeling confident there. Kevin down there, meanwhile, you can see PDD floating around. I'm not too sure whether he's too aware of that Dragon go down, and it was a free Dragon for SK there. So the first Dragon of the game taken away really without any fight.
Yeah, quite a low CS game actually for everybody, as there's just a lot of jungle movement and map movement in general. We don't have anybody over 100 CS right now, and the highest at 11 minutes and 40 seconds is 80 CS in mid, and that's on max. So a lot of aggression and focus being shown on just players in general, switching lanes, being able to have the upper hand in the jungle, and countering really becoming a big thing.
So back down to the bottom lane. Let's have a look at towards the CS, because we're starting to get towards the mid-game, so they're just going to start moving out of their lanes shortly. You can see that Carcass is actually slightly ahead in the middle there against Ocelot. Down the bottom here, Corky and good with 83. Obviously that is a big difference. That all came from that one big fight, and Shyvana managed to take down that turret quite happily. So the big difference at the moment, that one turret and the Dragon, which is obviously feeding that gold advantage that SK have at the moment. It's around 3. Looking back, towards Kevin with his Shen ulti actually came in as well, but he's managed to back away. Meanwhile, you can see down the bottom they're starting to push on towards the tower. Ocelot already, the Ash Arrow going on towards TS. The Corky's in all sorts of trouble. Ocelot going to come around, he's going to pop that ulti off. Crescendo went across, tried to cover him off. Dreyan is going to eat that tower hit. He will go down here. Corky does go down. It will be a kill. It's a 2-1 exchange, and well, I don't think they wanted to lose out on the one kill there, but it will be certainly possibly a tower coming out from this one as well. Candy Panda's got a lot of minions with him, so he might be able to hammer down that turret. Meanwhile, Akali was pushing Kevin at the top there with Shen, so they're going to try and take that top turret down.
Yeah, really nice. So it actually looks like they may get it. Shyvana has backed off, and it looks like Karthus actually going back towards middle. We should have seen Max at least in one of those fights. Following your lane is a huge thing, and Morgana had Dipset from that lane about 20 seconds before that fight happened. So Max was kind of just farming in lane, really could have used that help bottom as they were triple dove on the turret, not really having any assistance from that Morgana ulti.
So blue buff is going to be picked up this time, not going to be contested by SK. Ocelot is happy farming, so blue buff now gone across to Carthus, and that is the bottom tower going down. So 2 towers now for SK, top and bottom. Middle one's the next one they're going to start working on. Shyvana continuing to stay in that lane now, and it's going to cause a problem for Akali. They need to keep Akali as occupied as possible, prevent him start to roaming, because that's when the ganks really start to happen. Akali can be lethal once he actually starts leaping, especially on your AD carry, etc. So you want to try and keep him as occupied as possible. Don't want to let him free farm at the top though, which is what he's going to do. Max now taking away the Wraiths. Shen obviously allowing him to do that, while Shen clears up the middle lane. Keeping my eye on Lee Sin as well. So Dreyan, I'll tell you what, for his first game live on in a big tournament, he is doing a fantastic job.
He is keeping himself in the game very much so. Equals CS with Shen, but he also has 2, 1, and 3. Shen is 0, 0, and 2. So those 2 kills are going to be a lot better, especially with 3 assists over the 2 assists on Shen. Good money going towards Dreyan right now. And Lee Sin is somebody you want to be able to initiate into a fight, shield your team, and take a lot of damage. Looks like they are starting to evade very heavily here at the bottom. A nice Oracle on Nif here at 14 minutes is going to allow them to control the vision of EHOME. And I was actually going to mention something about that EHOME hadn't been placing many wards. I think they are placing the wards, but Nif able to find them. The taunt in on Lee Sin. Not somebody you want to quickly use that on. They're going to focus on this. The Q goes out. Resonating strike, and he may be able to go down, but a very nice turnaround on to Shen. Will they be able to take this down? No, a good blast out by Janna. Making sure Max's Defile does not do any damage. A slow fight to initiate here. They're kind of milling back and forth, but they're trading damage. A flash over from PDD. He feels like he can burst him down. The Karthus ulti coming out. Candy Panda will fall. Nif trying to get out of this one alive, and Tailwind is going to help them to make their way out of this fight. The rocket going on the corner, leaving her with about 6 HP. A very nice try there. coming into that fight, a lot was utilized. I did not think they were going to jump onto Lee Sin as they did. For Imba to go in with the taunt and waste that on Lee Sin to catch an arrow in the face, not a good use of the cooldowns, especially from your tank.
Yeah, so lots blown, but it worked out very well in EHOME's favor. And despite the fact it flashed through in towards the Dragon Pit, they continue chasing and picking up those kills. Very nicely played by EHOME, and they take their first tower of the game along with the Wraiths. They're going to try and do what SK have done. They're going to try and invade, try and take as much away from them. Now, Shen is going to become a scary, scary monster. At the moment, he's slowly building. He went for the GP5 items. Now you can see he's got that Giant's Belt on. That health is going to slowly build more and more and more. Now, SK is starting to get in position. I'm guessing the Dragon timer is up very shortly. This is what they get in there for all, but that was really all about a red invade, and actually just one single ward had managed to help EHOME completely collect themselves together and be ready for that fight.
Yeah, the warding is good. Niflau, I said, really preventing them from keeping any wards on the map. Looks like they may be able to take down mid here, but no. Oh, seeing too many. Dreon wanted to get that Q off. He wanted to get that Sonic and get the damage in, but not happening. He just saw TS, Max, and Air come out of nowhere, and he doesn't want to go in and dive into it. Versus 3, looks like they're going to defile their way down this lane. As you can see, Karthus doing a lot of damage to the minions. A great grab there, just to prevent them from getting into the jungle faster. Looks like SK trying to position themselves. They do get vision. That Q is going to allow them to see, and he goes right into the fight between everybody. An arrow coming from bottom lane from Candy Panda. Will they be able to dish out the damage here? Kali jumping around PD, trying to keep himself alive. Right into the wall. Looks like Candy Panda will be able to drop PD to start off the fight. No, that was Nif picking up the kill. And it looks like the support going to get a little bit of a gold on that. Gigabyte, or Max rather, trying to get into the fight as Karthus, playing a little bit of a zombie Karthus, keeping that defile on and will not throw off the ultimate. A very good fight coming out of the hands of SK there to kite away EHOME as they entered into their jungle. EHOME was actually first one in the jungle for SK to take that back. Great job.
Yeah, very nicely done as well. They do just ward up that dragon. They're like, we're not going to let you have that free dragon. Good bit of armor penetration there from Kevin there. Onto Kevin, sorry, Candy Panda keeping them at bay, and he's realised they're going to fight them away, but they're not going to give this dragon up so easily, I don't think. Imba's thinking, well, I might be able to get in and get a cheeky smite on it. I'm not too sure. SK are doing their best to keep it away. And now I think Imba might get caught out. Howling Gale from Nif there. And volley coming from Candy Panda means he's going to back away from that one. They did pick up the dragon, so SK in well control of that. And that's going to give them that gold advantage. 8-5 up in kills, 4K up in gold. It is actually starting to turn in SK's favour, but the team fights have been very, very close at the moment.
They are really close. As I said, PD has, not PD, in general, EHOME has a lot of movement on their team. They have Sona to speed them up. Shen can ult somebody. You have PD jumping all over, and as well as Karthus just coming around the corner, able to do damage, but not that he needs movement. His ultimate hits anybody on the map. So they can continuously attack the team in and out of the fight when SK is really trying to stun lock you. They want to get you down. They want to be able to get Morgana in the bulk of the fight for her ultimate, as it will stun everybody that it can latch onto after a few seconds. And they have to stay within that range, and EHOME is really good at getting out of that right now.
Yeah, so EHOME don't actually have an Oracles at the moment. Just keeping my eye, and you can see the pings going down on towards air. They want to actually try and maybe take that... Oh, and I tell you what, he's going forward. Needs to be very careful. The ping's going down. SK are well aware of where he's going. They're just saying, yeah, he's thrown a ward down here. So Janna's going to go towards it. Janna with that Oracle will clear that ward out. Sona, and wow, this is just going horribly wrong. Suddenly the snowball is on, and it can cause problems. Akali was not involved in that fight at all, was completely caught out of position around the back, and SK is just going to pile through the middle.
Yeah, that was a very good fight by them. Ocelate getting the ulti off, and you saw just how quick Corki tried to Valkyrie out of that Shyvana right on him. Great job by Kevin to focus on that Corki and still get him down. It was a beautiful Ash Arrow to initiate the fight, especially on Corki. It shut him down for the time of the crescendo, so they were able to just go and right back and jump on him. So very very good play and initiation by SK in mid, and it looks like they may grab a turret top. It'll kind of help, giving 150 gold to the team and may even bring them on top for that fight, but he won't be able to get it, and it looks like he is getting 3 focus now, D-Man.
Yeah, you can see he was never going to get away from that. They're
order
closing at the right time. Nice little bait there, but the Howling Gale is going to pop him up in the air. He's going to flash through. The Ignite will go, and I think he will get away with that just about. Very low health. Of course, the Shen ulti was available, so if he really needed, he come and helped it, but I don't think he was really in any mood to sort of make, I think I will just die if I go in there. I'm just going to avoid it, but it is working very well for SK at the moment. So you can see the BF sword now completed by Ash, bought, sorry. He's building up towards that Infinity Edge. The Wriggles also matched up. There is the Infinity Edge, just been completed, matched up with a Frozen Mallet for Shyvana, and Brilliance Potions being brought, sorry, Fortitude Potions being bought by SK here, so they're starting to stack up those potions, ready and waiting. They have got a double Wriggles out there at the moment, so if they should go for Baron, they could do it probably very quickly. But there's 2 AD carries. Looking across towards the opposition, you can see Akali struggling to actually match anything up. Willie the Ancient hasn't been completed, trying to sort of half-heartedly switching towards the Ryla Scepter. The Shen ulti used on PDD there. I'm not too sure about that one. That's going to be an error. They thought he was going to get caught out. In fact, he did this time. Imba eats a Dark Binders, but yeah, that's a pretty wasted Shen ulti there. Yeah, Dedrayon actually stealing red with his Q. Akali is not going to be able to slow on her attacks now. Very good job there denying the resources of the red buff. That's going to be able to put a dot, which is damage over time, on your opponent and slow them as well. Will give you a little bit of attack damage. So SK in command at the moment, 11-5 up, 7k gold up, and it just caught Ash. Has actually caught out of position now, and PDD thought about going for it. I think Candy Panda's actually trying to bait him in there. You can see Dedrayon coming around the side. Candy Panda's feeling pretty confident. He has dived on in the Ash Arrow. That's going to eat in there. Yeah, completely baited in there. Morgana was ready and waiting. Now ulti is going to ping off on many members of EHOME. EHOME completely caught out here. Kevin, meanwhile, is just troopsing through the entire team. Air will go down as well. And now, wow, this has just gone so wrong for the Chinese team. I'm afraid to say it is not looking good. The Carthage ulti will pick up Dedrayon. Though the shield, no, he just about survived with that shield. Very nicely done. And Knif will just about escape as well. So SK escaping with very little health. It means they can't go and do Baron, despite the fact they have 4v1, sorry, full-on ace scenario, but they're going to have to go back and buy. But I don't think it's going to be too bad. I think they're going to purchase some pretty hefty items from that. Like you can see needlessly large rods coming out. Zeal sort of being built up to by Ash as well. And SK are looking strong. Just notice that Kevin full out straight bot Merc Treads. He has not had boots up to 22 minutes, using that burnout and Janna's Tailwind to get around the map. Saving himself a little bit of money. He went for a Frozen Mallet and a Wriggles before boots. Not something you see every day. No. Didn't feel the need. He didn't feel the need, man. Burnout. And when you're against Akali, that's pretty ballsy play. Yeah, it really is, because she has Shroud all day. So we're seeing EHOME trying to regroup themselves, and they really have to. They have to hope that SK make a mistake. 16-5 in terms of kills. Only 3-1 in towers, though. They've not been pushing for the towers. SK have really been looking for them kills, and actually it's been EHOME that invaded twice where those kills came from. So kind of going back against them. I'm just keeping my eye on Shen down the bottom there. The Ash Arrow has gone down there. Candy Panda feels he can take down him, but Howling the Gale, Zephyr from the Nif there, and the Howling Gale will pop him up in the air. Had to use his flash to get out of there, but you know, when it makes you live, it's not a bad flash to use. Not too sure. I think he's yelling at his Infinity Edge right now, because he found no crits on any of those shots, unfortunately. Yeah, there's random number generator. It can be a problem, and many players really appreciate that little thing that's in the game called the random number generator. So, Dragon has been taken away, and I guess, well, you know what? They could go for Baron here. I'm not too sure whether they want to bait for a fight, peel away, maybe pull them in. They have pretty good ward placement. Max is sat there. Look at that. They've got a ward. They know he's sat there. I think the SK just setting up there. They kind of said, yeah, we know you're there. They just throws a quick flash at him. Meanwhile, so blue buff now being taken away. Are SK going to allow them to have that blue buff? They have picked it. I'm not too sure if they're really in position to go for it, though. Yeah, they're just going to clear the wards out around that dragon. And it's looking like the dragon fight is, Baron fight is almost inevitably going to happen. But EHOME, I'm not too sure are in the shape to even contest it. Yeah, they have no wards right now. There are a lot of wards being placed on, at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that general area, and a 6th off to the side. So total vision right now for SK around the Baron area. They would have the upper hand in whatever fight were to happen in the next few minutes. Now let's see Shyvana backing top as she does find Max going ahead farm and push the wave. That's exactly what they want to do as well.
push that wave up. The wave can act as vision if they're farming in those lanes, get the turrets down, and it can also be a way that you can get a Baron off and force that. As you said before, a lot of wriggles, or 2 wriggles rather, on SK's side, so it would be quite a quick Baron if they were to proc wriggles quite often.
Yeah, so Zhonya's Hourglass has been completed by Akali. Question is, and they have that Oracle, of course. Nif has that Oracle, so no escape for Akali in the safety of his Shroud. I'm just looking towards the build. Actually, he has completed that Rylas. Also, Rabadon's Death Cap slowly but surely being built. Actually, no, maybe not. He's going towards a Rylas, actually. He needs a bit more hit points, so they're all building the Rylas on EHOME's side, so they're feeling that they need that big hit point boost. They're just getting bursted down too quickly, which actually really is the case. So Shyvana at the moment 6-0-5 though has been such a pain in their side, a thorn all the way. There's triple Doran's Blades as well. It's interesting that we see the triple Doran's Blade build, because it was kind of a commonplace over at Kiev, but on this event it's been really, they've been rushing that Infinity Edge lately.
Yeah, it is different. You know, the stacks, you can play a little bit more risky with an AD carry if you go for the Infinity Edge, and it's different. Usually you see the Bloodthirster if you don't have the sustain lane. Huge Crystalline Arrow coming out, and they're going to be able to find a few crits on that one. Candy Panda's like, all right, thank you for critting Infinity Edge. And everybody's going to get an assist off of that one with the kill in the hands of Candy Panda. And as I was saying before, I forgot, because they're about to take Baron.
They are about to take Baron, and they're going to take it pretty easily. But Max is going to try and get in there, trying to do as much defile as he can. No, Drain actually nearly take it down. I think the ulti will not do the damage he's after, though. You can see Ocelot really very low. I don't think TS has the damage, hasn't got the position, getting blown out by a Monsoon, and he's just being manhandled by SK there. And that was a clean break, and really, you've got to be shouting at your Akali team member. Meanwhile, Shed was down the bottom farm, and he's like, well, I can use my ulti, but chances are you're all going to be dead before I get there, so there's really not much point in me coming to save the day. And he did try and use it, but he wasn't going to do anything about it. And SK now, they just have so much damage that EHOME is sort of fighting against the fighting them with a wet bat, I guess.
Yeah, they have a really nice job there coming in. Very nice try by TS. Morgana was very low, so he Valkyrie'd over the path she had to walk, but realized her team was on the side she was already on, so he just turned back. Ocelot was like, I'm not going to walk through that, and TS had actually put himself farther into the fight. He almost got a kill there, and I do remember what I was saying before, as we were saying the Infinity Edge is usually the rush now. Especially with a support lane, you think they're without a healer support lane like Janna, you think they're going to go for the Bloodthirster, you want to be able to sustain, but with the Infinity Edge, you don't have to worry about losing stacks. You can play a bit more of aggressive AD carry, and you can get yourself into the fight a little bit more and not have to worry about dying and losing anything. So you can really get that gold, get yourself on some assists as well, and not just try to go for the kills. Baron now on SK, giving them a very big gold lead. Right now, their gold is 45,000 on the dot to 32.9 for your EHOME team. GP5 or GP10's not too much. There's just a heart of gold down bottom, so they've really been taking this gold from objectives and farm as we're starting to get into the late game here. 20-5, 29 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and as mentioned at the start, that double AP strat, if it works, if you get the kills, it can be lethal. But at the moment, Akali is just trying best to actually get a little bit of damage going, because they've just sort of built against them. They're well prepared for this. Akali dashing through tends to be the very first target that SK go for, and that Ash Arrow will go straight towards him the minute they get a chance. So they're going to push on towards the inner turret there. Darkbind is actually catching onto someone there, and they managed to zip straight out of it. And that will be a very, very easy turret. Will they just continue pushing into the base? There's no reason why not. I think SK feeling they can quite easily take a fight on a turret right now, because they've won the last 3 team fights back to back, no problem at all. You can see Ocelot just trying to bind his time. They've thrown this ward here. They've put this ward out just so Ocelot can try and get some dark binding sneakily through that wall, which is why he's just waiting for any chance. EHOME are not falling for it, though. They're sticking behind that turret.
Karthus just trying to throw some walls out that is going to lower the magic resistance and slow his opponent, so he can do a little bit more of that lay waste. As you see the dots going out, Shyvana pushing in, Kevin looking for a little bit of aggression there, And the Astro comes out onto Karthus. They're going to try to take this down. No, he lives for a second, and he will be alive to cast spells after going down. The focus of the Morgana ult, shutting down TS there. The focus is on Corki right now. The damage dealer and AD go down with the support. A very nice fight there by SK as they are able to take out everybody but Imba as he is forced back to the fountain. It looks like they're going to be able to grab this turret and inhibitor and possibly back out for Dragon, clear the bottom wave. SK really in a nice position right now.
Yeah, and they're in a position to actually just continue pushing straight through to base, which is what they might do. They're going to go straight for those Nexus turrets. They have a minion wave. It has the Siege minion with them as well. And they've caught out Matt Imber as well. Imber caught out on the tower. He's not going to get away from that. I'm not even going to be able to pan the camera down quick enough to catch him.
Yep.
And that will be the Nexus turret. So, well played, SK Gaming. They're going to go 2-0 in the group, 0-2 for EHOME. They have a baptism of fire here at the Intel Extreme Masters Championships, coming up against some very strong opposition in Moscow 5 and SK Gaming. SK Gaming are going to be very happy with that one. It took a little time, longer than they maybe would have felt they needed to, because they were looking very strong early on, and there they are. Great sportsmanship between the two teams. Obviously, they always shake each other's hands, and that's really the great stage setup that they got here, that they can just go straight to them. They're not being a manhandled. As soon as they get through, trying to fight their way through spectators, which, as soon as they step off that stage for photos, they do get harassed.
Oh, yeah. So looking at this, they still went into it. EHOME trying to focus and maybe negate the fact that they get countered a little bit with junglers that don't really require the blue. But then you can't give it to your middle, so that makes